My name is Jennifer Guest-Mayo. I oversee the Division for Customer Relations and Legislation for the Pasadena Water and Power Department, and I want to welcome you all here today for the Wadsworth Treatment Facility ribbon cutting ceremony. We're all thrilled to be here and joined by many special guests today. Our Pasadena Mayor, Victor Gordo, City Council Member Felicia Williams. I also want to welcome Pasadena City Manager Miguel Marquez, Assistant City Manager Brenda Harvey Williams, Acting Assistant City Manager Matt Hawksworth, and I see also our Public Works Director Tony Olmos. Also want to welcome Assistant City Manager who is currently serving as Pasadena Water and Power Acting General Manager, Mr. David Reyes, and our PWP Assistant General Managers. In particular, I want to recognize Assistant General Manager of Water, Ms. Stacy Takaguchi, who you'll be hearing from later in the program. Also want to recognize with us today is Ms. Cynthia Kurtz, who represents Pasadena on the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. And so also notable organizations in the audience, we also have the Water Master's Office, the Raymond Basin Management Board, the Environmental Advisory Commission for Pasadena, and fellow city departments. And lastly, I'd like to recognize representatives from some of our legislative offices. Ms. Jubilee Byfield from the Office of United States Congresswoman Judy Chu, Dominic Corey from the Office of California State Senator Anthony Portantino, and Savannah Moore from the Office of Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Barger. And they have graciously brought certificates of recognition and proclamations for today's event. And later in the event, we'll invite the representatives up as we do a presentation of those proclamations toward the end of the program today. So at this time, I'd like to invite our first speaker to the podium, Mayor Victor Gordo, to say a few welcoming remarks, as well as MSC Chair, Councilmember Felicia Williams.
So let me first congratulate all of the staff, Interim General Manager David Reyes, our City Manager Miguel Marquez, all the Public Works staff, all of the departments that are represented here today. This is an important subject in Pasadena and really throughout the state of California. It's all about water, whether it's water that we have to use to reclaim, whether it's water that comes down from the sky and we all are concerned about, particularly this weekend. I'm hearing that we're going to have a big storm, but it's an important subject, and here in Pasadena, we traditionally have been a leader in water and power. I tell people that, the little known fact, Pasadena was one of the first 5 cities to found the Metropolitan Water District. And to give you an idea, when you have 5 cities that start really what is the ultimate growth of the greatest state in the entire country, and it started because of water, because we had the water to support the needs of a burgeoning state all the way down to San Diego. So we have lots to be proud about in Pasadena, having our own utility that includes water services and being leaders in the region in the area of water. So on behalf of all residents of Pasadena, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who are involved with this project for keeping us relevant in the space of water and making sure that we have this tremendous resource for our city and for all residents. So thank you all very much and welcome here today on a beautiful Pasadena day.
It's really a pleasure to be the chair of Municipal Services Committee. I begged the mayor when I first got on council. It's my favorite committee, not only because it's the funnest committee, but it's the committee that deals with all of the critical services that cities provide to residents. Public works, water and power, transportation. These are all of the things that affect our residents' lives. So I want to thank all of you that work for water power and all of these departments. You guys are the critical element for how our city survives and how our constituents get to and from work and from school and live their lives and have a great quality of life. So thank you so much, and congratulations to the Water and Power team.
So next we're joined by Pasadena's City Manager, Miguel Marquez. Before joining Pasadena in 2022, Mr. Marquez served as the Chief Operating Officer of the County of Santa Clara. Prior to his role in Santa Clara, Marquez served as the Associate Justice of the California 6th District Court of Appeal, as the County Counsel for the County of Santa Clara, as General Counsel for the San Francisco Unified School District, and as Deputy City Attorney in the San Francisco City Attorney's Office. He began his public career as the Deputy City Counsel in the San Mateo County. Marquez also worked for 2 private law firms as a management consultant, where he was part of a national financial and organizational consulting practice. Please join me in welcoming Pasadena City Manager Miguel Marquez.
Such a privilege to be here and such a privilege to serve as city manager in this incredible city. I want to focus my remarks on 2 concepts that I think we too often take for granted: resiliency and reliability. Right? When we turn on the tap, when we flush the toilet, when we do all that, we just take for granted that it always works. But there's so much behind what makes that work. And that's true of both water and power. So I want to thank our hardworking public servants who keep the water on at all times. And not just keeping it on. I like traveling. I think we all like traveling. We sometimes go to places and you accidentally brush your teeth with the tap water, or order a drink and they're using ice that came from the tap and you get sick. That doesn't happen here. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's a lot of hard work. I had the privilege, I've been in this role now for about 1.5 years. And in that 1.5 years, I've taken a couple of trips thanks to Cynthia Kurtz, and over at the Metropolitan Water District, we took a tour of everything that goes around the Colorado River. And we learned about the politics of the Colorado River. It's a multi-state project, it's very complicated, but what I was astounded by was the infrastructure. What people in the past did to harness that river so that we can have water. Here in Pasadena, I think we use a mix of water that we get from Metropolitan Water District and our own ground supply from the Raymond Basin. I took another tour with Cynthia again, and we took a tour of all of the water facilities up in Northern California. Again, just astounding, and you look at that. It was probably one of the most memorable things for me was going to, I think they called it the Sites Reservoir, a brand new reservoir that they're building that they haven't yet let the water in, and we were on the bottom of it. They said, soon this will be filled to 300 feet of water. It was incredible. And then you see how it all comes together, and you just you're mind blown in many respects by what we have done to bring fresh water, clean water, safe water. Now, not only that, we went to some facilities and saw all of the testing and how people smell the water and how it's almost like a wine. And I realized it's really true. So I had been one of those people prior to this job who would always drink bottled water. Now with pride, I take water from the tap, I smell it, I swirl it, and I drink it. It's really, really, really good. So I say all that to say that the importance of resiliency, of the importance of reliability, and the importance, when you look at everything the state has done, you sometimes feel like, wow, how did the prior generations do it? And then you realize days like this, we're doing it too. It's hard to see in the moment, but this is the local effort at really adding to that bigger system that makes sure when you turn the water on, it's clean, it's fresh, it's tested, and it's safe. So thanks again to everyone who made this day happen, and including picking the day and the weather. It shows how good you guys really are. But I think we should all walk away from today realizing this is Pasadena's way of rising to the challenge of, in many respects, climate change, where we have very wet years. We're blessed to have 2 wet years in a row. That's great. But I think we all know deep down inside it could change, and it will change. And guess what? We're going to be prepared. We'll have your water. It'll be clean, safe, and it'll be tasty. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. In February, Pasadena Water and Power welcomed Assistant City Manager David Reyes as our acting General Manager. Mr. Reyes joined the City of Pasadena in 2012 as the Planning and Community Development Department's Zoning Administrator. In 2013, he was promoted to Deputy Director, and in 2016, he served as Department Director. In 2023, Reyes was appointed Assistant City Manager after serving that role as an interim at ACM for 9 months. Reyes has more than 20 years of experience in the public sector. Prior to joining the City of Pasadena, he worked in a range of positions at the cities of Malibu, Santa Monica, and Beverly Hills. Please join me in welcoming Pasadena Water and Power's Acting General Manager, Mr. David Reyes.
It is an honor to be here, and of all of the cities I've worked in and all the jobs I've had, never did I imagine I would be doing this. Never. But I am honored and privileged to be working with such talented staff at the Water and Power Department. You know, normally when Cynthia comes, she brings rain, so I was a little worried about today's weather, and she didn't do that today. We want to welcome, on behalf of the Water and Power Department, everybody to this event today. We are one of the few community-owned, not-for-profit utilities in the entire Southern California region, and we try to stay true to our mission, which is to continue to provide reliable, resilient, high-quality water that meets or exceeds state and federal standards. As Miguel was talking about, you smell it and you taste it, and it's clean. For more than 100 years, PWP has provided essential services while adapting to an ever-changing and more complex regulatory environment. The city continues to invest in critical infrastructure, including reservoirs, pipelines, and wells for continued reliability and the delivery of safe drinking water. As a water supplier, PWP is exploring innovative new ways to adapt to drought and climate change by planning and investing in local supplies and water infrastructure like the Wadsworth treatment facility that you see here today. And this is a result of the hardworking and talented staff at PWP, in particular led by our water AGM, Ms. Stacy Takiguchi. The dedicated staff and their projects, like this one, are a tangible demonstration of the vision, talent, and commitment of the entire water team. PWP supplies nearly 24 million gallons of water each day to the residents of our city. PWP is proud to have the responsibility to ensure that actualizing important projects like Wadsworth help to ensure the reliable, resilient water delivery system that Pasadena has come to know and will come to know and enjoy for decades. At this time, I'd like to introduce a very special guest, somebody who has championed the city of Pasadena for many years in many capacities. Ms. Cynthia Kurtz is currently the director at the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. She has held numerous positions in the public and nonprofit sectors throughout her career, including the city manager for the city of Pasadena, interim city manager for the cities of Covina, Santa Ana, the chief operating officer for River LA, president of the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership. She has served on MWD since 2013, and she is currently the executive director of the One Arroyo Foundation. Please help me in welcoming Ms. Cynthia Kurtz.
As you get older, your resume gets way too long, and we're going to have to work on that. Before I talk about my remarks that I put together for today, I just want to say to the Water and Power staff, this is such a big deal. This was a really hard, complex project. When it was first conceived and put together, it was kind of mind-blowing that all of this would happen. And you did it on budget, you did it on time, and congratulations. Really, really great work to Water and Power. It's really my honor to be here today and my honor to serve on the Metropolitan Water District representing Pasadena. And we do hard works. We don't just do trips, but there are some hard meetings as well. As the mayor said, Pasadena was one of the founders of Metropolitan Water, and it was actually the first city to get water from the Colorado River Aqueduct in 1941. And following that, when Diamond Valley Lake was built, which, by the way, the blooms are gorgeous this year and the trails are open if you want to go to Hemet and visit. But when Diamond Valley Lake was completed, we started getting state water project as well. And this is great because, as the city manager said, you need redundancy, you need reliability, and the only way to have that is to have multiple sources of water. But no city that has the privilege of being on a groundwater basin that you can actually pump from would ever let that go. And Pasadena has been really true to that. Sometimes even more than half of the water is able to come from the Raymond Basin. As we struggle with the Colorado River and what's happening in the State Water Project, we know we need to really make sure that our own groundwater is there to help us through the dry times and to serve as a reservoir during the wet times. And This treatment facility will treat water from 3 wells in Pasadena and would continue to deliver the quality water that the city manager talked about, reliability and water quality, the 2 things that I'm sure are on the wall of every office in Water and Power. And I have to say, you do both of them really well. Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of today.
So in 2022, Stacy Takaguchi joined Pasadena Water and Power as our Assistant General Manager of Water. And boy, are we lucky to have her. She's not only is a wonderful person, but she's got so much expertise that she brings to the table. She's got a great attitude and is just a natural leader. And just the culmination of the project here today and her wonderful team is representative of that. And prior to joining Pasadena Water and Power, she worked for the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California for 15 years, serving in various capacities, including leading regional drought action planning efforts. And additionally, she has experience in managing innovative stormwater multi-use projects at the County of Los Angeles Department of Public Works. So please join me in welcoming Stacy Takaguchi.
First off, I'm getting way too much credit for this wonderful project, but I am so proud to be part of this team. The speakers before me, so inspiring. I'm inspired. I want to do more. I want to do more, and we will. We'll continue to do more. And as you can tell, we are excited to have all of you here today as we celebrate bringing online this critical resource. And I want to thank all of you, not only for joining us here today, but for what we all do here collectively together, all of us, to serve our community. It takes more than a village to continue to ensure reliable deliveries of clean water, an essential resource to life and quality life to those we serve. So thank you all for being part of that. And together, and with this brand new facility, we are further cleaning up our groundwater basin, helping to maintain quality, quantity, and accessibility to water, and allowing us to be able to further rely on that water stored in our groundwater basin beneath our very feet. Now, this project on its own is a great accomplishment, and it is also part of a larger system and vision to strengthen and diversify our water resources and our system for a resilient future, and is also part of our water system and resources plan. And it'll continue to take all of us working together to ensure that vision of a resilient future and overcome the many challenges that we face together, including, as folks mentioned before me, more extreme and variable climate. We're going to have to be able to capture those extreme wet conditions, store it, and utilize it to get us through the hotter and longer droughts. And we can do it. We can do it together by continuing to reinvest in a sustainable water system, by continuing to optimize and share our collective resources, including our local resources and our regional and imported resources, by continuing to and furthering supporting one another and our regional partnerships, and not only here, but in the state and in the nation. And of course, by continuing to have a strong community involvement, including a strong ethic of water conservation and water use efficiency. Did you know that the Pasadena community uses as much water today as we did in 1949, despite nearly a 40% increase in population? Now that is just simply incredible. And we have a wonderful water conservation program and team to make this all happen. In fact, you saw the beautiful, colorful banner as you entered the facility. That's a sneak peek to our upcoming campaign for public outreach and education called the Ripple Effect. Now, not only does every drop count, it's every positive action produces a larger ripple of benefit, and we are all connected. And we are excited to continue that effort. The Ripple Effect also calls on the Pasadena community to learn more about and take pride in Pasadena's water journey, including the water journey that involves this water treatment facility you see here today. And with that, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our next speaker, who, with dedication and determination led the successful delivery of this very project. Our very own engineering manager and head of our water resources and planning, Natalie Auersloot.
I'm so honored to be here today to see the commencement of our new Wadsworth groundwater treatment plant. This morning, our speakers have all shared how important the project is for PWP and the reliability and resiliency it provides to the water system. 20% of the water we produce is treated through this facility. So water collected from 3 groundwater wells are treated here, which includes the Wadsworth well that's behind me and on the east side of the property, and also 2 off-site wells, which is Craig Well, and that's 1.5 miles away, and Woodbury Well, which is 1 mile away. So the water is conveyed directly to the site through existing and new pipelines. The 6 vessels here have granular activated carbon that treat for volatile organic compounds, and up to 3,000 gallons per minute. The steel tank behind you in the corner is for capturing backwash water, which is then released to 3 dry wells on the south side of the property for infiltrating back into the groundwater rather than releasing to storm drains. We also have a disinfection system and high-tech instrumentation, controls, and security. This landscaping that fronts the treatment plant and the efficient irrigation system was designed and installed as part of PWP's Water Conservation Program offerings and was executed in partnership with the MASH program from the Housing Department. Design for the treatment plant started in September 2020 with the help of Civil Tech Engineering. If you can please raise your hands if I call your name so that we can recognize you. I want to thank Shem Haas, Steve Walker, Sky Younger, and Sanjay Verma, who did a tremendous job designing this state-of-the-art facility. Although the groundwater well has been here since 1999, the site started out mostly as a dirt lot with training structures, storage, and a chain link fence. Construction started in August of 2022 in a time of volatile supply chain issues, rampant increases in material costs. However, we were able to procure these 30,000-pound steel vessels from Calgon Carbon in delivery on time and within budget. We also have Pacific Hydrotech here today, who was our construction contractor and worked so hard to deliver this critical infrastructure. Thank you to Roger Morehart for coming every day with your team for 16 months to make this happen. Also Greg Chahy and Robert Bocalan made sure behind the scenes that the plant could be constructed in these volatile times. Civil Tech Engineering also provided the construction management for support for PWP. And Jerry Mesa, is Jerry? I can't see you over there. And Alec Escamilla made sure everything was constructed according to specifications. Thank you so much for keeping us on schedule. We also have great neighbors who supported the project. And Manny Pavko, and I don't know if he's here today, but he's the owner of the Red Brick Building. And we really appreciate the understanding and partnership during construction. Finally, I want to thank the amazing PWP team for their commitment and dedication to pushing the project through and supporting treatment operations. Doug Ross, Londell Thorpe, Randy Chu, Danny Lopez, Rumiana Vuchkova, Alex Jang, and everybody else on the PWP team. PWP is lucky to have you and your great talents. The successful opening of the Wadsworth Groundwater Treatment Facility is the latest example of PWP's ongoing commitment to sustainable, reliable water service for our customers. And I'm proud to have joined my colleagues and partners to deliver this important facility to the community. Thank you. And I'll turn it back over to Jen. Thank you.
And I couldn't echo those statements more, that we're lucky to have such a talented and dedicated staff to all the great work that we do here. Another area where we are really lucky and blessed is to have great representation from our legislative officials at the county, state, and federal level. And as I mentioned earlier in my opening remarks, we're fortunate to be joined by representatives from the office of Congresswoman Judy Chu, Senator Anthony Portantino, and LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger. And I'd like to invite them forward to the podium to present their certificates of recognition.
I'm very honored to be presenting this certificate of congratulatory recognition to the Wadsworth Treatment Facility. A heartfelt congratulations on the opening of the Wadsworth Treatment Facility, the City of Pasadena's dedication to the well-being of our community by providing clean drinking water to residents is truly commendable and greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
One of my favorite parts of this job is going on paid field trips to the water facilities up in Sacramento and in the Colorado River. It's not the rubber chicken dinners, but it's the paid field trips, just to be able to learn about water. And like so many other Pasadena residents or residents in California, period, you really don't know where your water comes from, but we just know that we have good and clean water in our system. And so on behalf of the California State Senate, I joined the Pasadena community in celebrating this new state-of-the-art water treatment facility. Pasadena Water and Power's efforts to increase access to clean water from our local sources is greatly appreciated. And I thank you for your commitment to ensuring all residents of our Crown City have sustainable source of water. Just thank you, guys.
On behalf of the supervisor, I'd like to congratulate the City of Pasadena, Pasadena Water and Power, on the opening of the Wadsworth Treatment Facility and present this certificate in honor of today. Thank you.
Assemblymember Holden's office, they did have a very last-minute conflict, so they were not able to be here today, but they did provide us with a proclamation as well, so I'll go ahead and read it. This is from the California Assembly Certificate of Recognition of the Pasadena Water and Power Wadsworth Treatment Facility in recognition of the opening of the facility, which will provide the community with clean, reliable drinking water. Besides removing contaminants from the PWP groundwater source, this project will increase reliability, resiliency, and reliability of the groundwater system. I kind of messed that up a little bit, but trust me, it's worded right. Congratulations, Assemblymember Chris Holden. And now we'd like to do maybe a photo opportunity with our legislative representatives and representatives from our cities.
2, 3.
PWP!
3, 2, 1.